Hey everyone, my fiance and I got married on the 2nd of August at a castle. It was a medieval wedding, and my friend made the wedding cake, which was a castle, and I made the figurines to go on top, which looked like a miniature of my husband and I. This is my dress. This tutorial will be a mixture of a slideshow and video clips just because I used Sugar Charm Shop's tutorial on how to make dolls. So if you would like to know more details, go check out her channel. I will link it in the description box below. I used the same technique when making the body, except that I didn't have any aluminum foil at hand, so I just made plain wire dummies. The figurines would have been too small to attach aluminum foil to them anyways. By the way, the figurines are something in between a realistic miniature and a chibi. I baked the figurine several times in between, just so I wouldn't distort the shape. Here is how I make the legs. Just put two balls on top of each other. Press them together several times in between rolling them into a log shape. Then attach to the hips of the body and smooth it out. Now let's turn to how I actually dressed my figurine.
So I measured the height of my figurine, and it's about from this green bar to the very bottom of this tag, and then I just push it onto the clay. So I have the outlines of how long this outer diameter has to be. So this is probably way too much clay, but I like to take too much and then cut it down. Now it doesn't matter if it doesn't go all the way up here, because the front piece is going to get another color. This one respectively, so it's a little lighter. And in the back there is a hoodie, which is perfect for 30 degrees outside, Celsius of course. I think it's like, I don't know, maybe 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So the diameter of the dress at the base can only be 3 to 4 centimeters, so I have to keep that in mind while making this figurine, because it's going to be on top of the cake, and the cake is going to be a castle with towers that are like 10 centimeters high, and the figurine is to be on top. And the diameter of the castle towers, that's the word I was looking for, is like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 4 centimeters in diameter, so I can't have the figurine bigger than the tower, because then it will fall off or look odd. So I'm going to leave this piece like it is, or as it is, and put that aside. And then I'm going to mix some more of the, or actually this might just be enough. So this color is going to be the centerpiece of my dress. And there I have my centerpiece. So I layered these, and then I'm going to take my acrylic roller and gently, very gently, because I don't want to flatten this out even more. By the way, I rolled the sheets through my pasta machine on a setting 4 or 5. It really depends on the size of the figurine. This might be a little too thin, but I mean the fabric is thin also, right? So I decided to go with this. Now I also need some gold, because on my dress there is some gold parts here and also here, but I'm going to add these on later. And I also have a pattern in gold on the front piece, but I don't have my gel pen with me right now, so I'm going to have to finish the whole figurine and then paint the details on later. Okay. So let's try to get the front piece in the front, right? Sorry, you can see because of the lighting. We had lightning yesterday. So like this. And now I have to try to smooth that out. And for that I'm going to use various tools. I'm going to have to try which one works best. Problem is that I'm smoothing this onto the body, so in between I'm gonna have to try to get this off the body. Now now I'm gonna like make rifles, I don't know, no, not rifles, riffles, like, you know, like this, the same way that you put on the dress. So there are strings in the back of my dress and also in the front, but first you work on the back of the dress and then on the front. So I'm gonna smooth the front piece to the chest of the chibi, and now she's like, she doesn't have a waist, so I'm gonna carefully pull that back, kinda. So now she has something of a waist. It's like she's a hunchback. I'm just gonna take a random ball tool and cover everything up with shadow, sorry, and just pinch it a little bit in the middle here. So that's what it looks like so far. So I'm just going to press this part down a little bit. Sorry, I'm turning her around like crazy, but I have to get an angle that I can work at. So yeah, here's the two beauties standing. Of course, the man doesn't have clothes yet. So let's continue. The battery of my camera is almost dead, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit. So for the hoodie, I cut out two like long triangles, like so. That's the first one. And to get the same size twice, like so. Take them apart again a little bit, and I round this just a little bit and gently press down the edges. And then I use this tool here, I think it's a Sculpey tool, but I don't know, and press the sides flat. I have to add some like ornaments to this, and also it helps the hoodie stick together. Now this is way too large for her, so I take it like this and fold this part here over. Now that's just perfect, because now I have two pieces that can go to the front, and I can just cut off the excess here. Like so, and there I have my hoodie. And that nicely slides onto her back. As you already heard, my camera died, so I'm switching cameras now, so the quality might not be as good as with the Nikon I used before. So I remade the hoodie because I wanted to add this, like, I don't know, this gold strip, and now I'm just gonna attach it. Just like so. I'm not gonna press it flat. I'm just gonna take my tool and bring that to the front. And that's perfect, because this gold strip is going to continue all the way down here. I'm going to attach that in a second. And it also goes across the chest here. So just like that. I know the chest cracked here a little bit. I'm going to try to cover it up when I do the face. That's the hoodie, and I don't know where this came from. I'm going to try to scrape that off later. So that's the little hoodie. I'm gonna lower it down a little bit, and I'm also gonna try to get the seam, or make the seam more nicely. Yeah, that was the hoodie. Now I've already rolled out a thin strip of gold clay, and I don't know if this is long enough. Let's see. That's what I had left over from the hoodie. So, oh yeah, I can stretch it out a little bit. You won't notice the difference. Now with this plastic blade, I am going to press this flat a little bit, just to really secure it onto the dress. Now you see I have marks here, which is just perfect, so I'm just gonna add some more marks, going crazy. Yeah, that's the figurine so far. So for the rest of the arms, I have here a teeny tiny bit of caramel. Most of it will be translucent because the fabric is not really translucent, but it appears to be, so I am going to use a lot of translucent. So I'm done mixing, and this is the translucent, this is the pearl, and that's what I came up with. So it's something in between pearl and flesh. So it's like a cream color, so to say. So yeah, now I have to flatten this out in my pasta machine using the same setting that I used for the dress, which would be a 5, and then I will continue to make the arms. To make the arms, I use the same color I used for the dress, so that's the upper arm, and then some flesh colors. And just as you've seen me make arms and also legs in previous chibi videos, you just take the 2 balls. So see, the arm ball is larger than the upper leaf arm, and then just roll it and pinch it and roll it out and press it together again, and do that until it looks like it bonded. And then just keep rolling until you arrive at the thickness that you want. I need my pliers, and I'm going to carefully bend this down. Like so, maybe. I'm just going to do one arm at a time, because otherwise it will be much more pain to add the arms. So I'm not going to like stick it in like that. I will use my needle tool beforehand, because the wire is pretty thick, as you can see. So I'm going to make a hole in the arm first. Yeah, and then I just have to smooth this out. So using your tools, try to get this as smooth as possible. See, there's a huge gap here, so I'm going to have to pull the arm around this spot. And then I'm going to smooth this to the body again. I don't want this part to be smooth, because that's the hoodie, and the hoodie does go all the way to the front. So I'm going to try to get a crease here. So the figurine is in the oven for pre-baking because I just finished the arms. Now let's get on to the sleeves. I already finished the 2 sleeves that I will use for my figurine, but here's how I made them. I cut out this shape, so I measured the size of the arm first, of course, and then you just roll it up. Oops. Overlap it a little bit here. Just a little bit. You just want to be able to smooth it out. Put it on your work surface and then use some round tool. I'm using the back of a paintbrush. Just like that. Now if you don't like that part up here, you can cut it straight. I didn't. You can see there's a little triangular shape there. So I'm just going to use the precision cutter to cut this triangle and make it nice again. So that would be 1 sleeve. And then I use my blade to get this off my work surface, because when smoothing out the inside, I press it down onto the work surface and I don't want to damage the sleeve. Now you have something like this. You also have to make sure that the space up here is large enough so you can slide it onto the arm. You can also just like take the shape and wrap that around the pre-baked arm of the figurine, but that would be harder to smooth out the part that we just did. Now for my figurine, she has been in the oven for about like 10 or 15 minutes, I can't remember. Now let's add the sleeves of the dress. Just slide it on there. I'm just gonna try to smooth that to her body a little bit more. And she also has some little golden decorations, or my dress does. It's really weird talking about like remaking my own dress. Sorry. Like that. Now for the second sleeve, I am going to speed up the video a little bit again. So that is my dress. Now I have to bake this, and the other ornaments that are still missing are on the sleeves, but these are like gold and red, so I'm going to use my gel pen to do that. Now I'm going to put her in the oven again, and when she comes out and the sleeves have all been cured, then I will attach the face, and after that the hair. So my figurine has just come out of the oven. So the sleeves are a little bit translucent. And now I'm going to add the face onto the figurine. Now this is the great thing when baking the charm in between, or the figurine, whatever you're working on. You can just like push and sculpt all the way you want. You won't distort the shape you already have, and that's why I always, whenever I make a figurine or a chibi or whatever, bake the thing in between. So sculpt the head, and if you want to make it or turn it into a charm, then I poke a hole through the head when I'm done shaping it, and then I put it into the oven so I won't be able to destroy the face again. Let me zoom in for you, not out, in, like that. Now I'm going to speed up this process as I try to smooth this new layer of face to the chibi head. Now again, using my ball tools, you've seen me doing this with other chibis, I think. I press down on the top to get a nose. You can see, and this looks like prehistoric. I'm going to remove that in a second. And then I also roll down the sides to get this teeny tiny nose here. And now onto the mouth. So I hope you can see this. So I draw the middle of the mouth first, which is 3 lines, as you can see. So this is going to be the mouth. Okay, now I'm just adding more detail to the nose. That looks like it could be my nose. So that's what it looks like from the side. So my cheeks are hanging down here a little bit. I don't like that, so I'm going to try to smooth that out. So now I'm taking my white ball tool again to make the holes for the eyes. And now she goes into the oven. So I want to bake her before adding the hair, so I won't be able to distort the face. I am thinking about giving her a little blush. So here I have my pastel colors, and I'm going to use the red one, this one, with my small brush. Here in the shade you can see that her cheeks are shaded a little bit. Ready. So just take some small pieces of flesh colored clay, roll them into a ball and into a semi teardrop shape like this, and then attach that onto the sides. Now again, make sure that they are on the same height, so the left or the right ear is too low. Whoops. Like that, and a little bit more to the front. Yep, it's not focusing, but you can see it's a line. So let's shape this one. Now she's allowed to go into the oven. Now the only thing that is missing is the hair of my figurine, and to get this color, I'm redheaded, I used copper and this yellow, I don't know what it's called, sun yellow or something, sunflower, equal parts, and just mixed them together. It made the copper color a little lighter, and it took out some of the shininess, so to speak. Yeah, then I'm just gonna like cut off little pieces and roll them along. I've already flattened out one of them, and then I'm going to add some texture, which you can see under the lighting. And for my wedding, I'm going to have like locks. So after texturing the strands from both sides, I'm going to just swirl it up like so, just randomly, and then attach it to the head. Now you can see I already prepared this one. So I took a ball of the hair color and spread it around the skull. She looks really creepy without the eyes. Yeah, and now I'm just going to attach lock after lock, and I am going to speed up that process on the camera. Now the problem with metallic clays, I think of any brand, is that they are really dry and they cool very fast. So I can only do strand by strand. So I cannot like prepare snakes of this color. I have to do them individually, which is a pain. Because otherwise it will just break if I swirl it. So I'm going to pre-bake this just so I can touch the locks without like destroying the shape, and then I will continue with the front. Now let's give my figurines some eyes too. So I've already prepared the white acrylic paint. Just dip a ball tool into there, and then now before adding the iris, I need to let that dry. So see you in a few minutes. I already put some blush, so I decided to give her some lipstick, so to speak, too. I've mixed this color that mostly resembles like flesh color, because I don't want her lips to stand out. And then I've got this really thin paintbrush. Just like that. So kind of a nude lipstick, so to speak. So let's add the iris. So I'm going to go with a smaller size ball tool. Just dip it in the green color. And place it in the middle, just like that. Let that dry for another few minutes, and then we'll add the pupils and the out of the eyes. So let's finish this little lady here. I put some black acrylic paint on this tissue paper again, and taking a small ball tool, I'm going to add the pupils. Now let's add the last details. Just like that. Now you can seal it with glaze. I only have shiny glaze and I don't want my face or hair to be shiny, so I'm just going to leave it like that. My figurine is still missing the ornaments, so I'm going to get my gel pen after the eyes have dried and add some little details on the sleeves and also the dress here and the rim here. Okay, so see you in a few seconds. Okay, so that's the pattern for the sleeves. I don't know what the actual pattern looks like, it just randomly chose this pattern. Now on the front of her dress there are some, or of my dress, there are some vines, so I'm just gonna draw those randomly too. Now the problem is, before baking this again, I could just rub off the pattern that I just drew, so I have to be careful not to touch it, and my fingers are all glittery. So that's the swirly pattern for the front, and I'm just gonna draw on like a thicker line on the outside of the skirt. So yeah, that's it for this figurine. Now, even though this video is only about 30 minutes long, it took me about 5 hours to make the figurine, but it was definitely worth it. Isn't she a cutie?